Good afternoon, guys. Hope you had a nice break. So my name is Raj Patel, and just like many of you, I'm a hotelier as well. I do own a couple independent hotels. I bought my first one in 2016. Today, this section is going to cover operations. Operations of a hotel could go many ways. Everyone has their own way of operating. Today, I'm joined by two owners, successful owners, and we will be discussing how to do different ways of operations in a hotel. So we can start with quick introductions. I know they were here earlier, but we can just do some quick introductions if new people are arrived.
My name is Pinkesh Patel, and I'm independent hotelier, and I manage and operate the hotels.
Hi, I'm Brandy, and I think a lot of you were already here, so I already gave my introduction. Hi. But I own 7 independent hotels in various states across the country.
Okay. So as independent hotels, we don't have any standards or brands telling us what to do. We usually do things our own way, or we use industry standards and tweak ways where we make our operations a lot better. So this question is, can you guys share some unique procedures that you have implemented in your operations to be most effective?
I can go for it. Yeah. There's so many things you can do, but let me tell you one point that it'll make a difference, and you guys probably doing that. You know how your OTAs come to your hotel, more OTAs coming in, that's 15% commission on it. You can train yourself first, then you train your employee to talk to those customers. You know these people are coming every time. You know it's repeated. So talk to them and tell them, we can help you to save 10% of this rate if you book direct to the hotel. Call me, and we can book it for you, and you can save 10%. So at least we're saving 8% off the commission. The guests will come. We don't have to do this 10% every time. Then he get used to it. Then he keep on. We don't have to worry about 10. One time only we can have 10%. Other than that, it's good. But you have to train your staff to make sure they follow up on this thing. OTAs is a killer. Okay? They're taking our profit. They don't have nothing to do with the hotel industry, and they're making money. Right? They don't come do your brooms or check on your things, pay your bill. But this is the way I did it at my hotel. Even franchise hotel, we did that too. Right? So we front desk manager, first thing you tell manager, please do that. Put some incentive on it. Hey, listen, if you do this, if you save it on OTAs, compare the month-to-month, quarter-to-quarter base, and see how much you're saving. Tell your manager, do this. We'll give you some bonuses. Right? They are the one. You are not going to be at the front. They are going to be front. Tell them. Tell your desk clerk to do this direct, to save it. Sometimes, some of those smart managers, if you train him right, what they will do is this. Right? If you see OTAs come to, they say, yes, how we doing? If we know them, right? Why don't you do this? Well, cancel the things. You know, you got to cheat the system too. Cancel it right now. I'll give you 10% off right now. And customer will be happy to do that. Who don't want to sell? I want to sell. Right? If you have independent property, like more towards boutique style or stuff, you have bar or something like that, you have a free drink. Who cares? But it's not going to cost you $10. Right? So that's my thing. Just one of the things, operation you can help more. End of the day is your bottom line. Don't forget that. Thank you. Go ahead.
So I have independent hotels in 7 different states. I live in Colorado. My properties are in South Dakota, Wyoming, Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, and Kansas. So all over the place, really. And a question that I get asked all the time is, how do you manage those properties when you're in Colorado, right? And what's funny is that I actually intentionally like to buy properties that are not close to me because it forces me to run it like a business. As all of you probably know, if you're close to that business in proximity, it can consume you. And in almost every case, I'd say actually every case, when I've purchased a property, the previous owner, literally I had one lady, she was like, literally, I don't care, burn it, I don't want to see that thing again, it's taken too much of my time, I don't want to do it anymore. I had another owner who actually was in tears, and he had been running that property himself for over 30 years. And he broke down crying on closing day, and he said, "Thank you. Thank you for taking this weight off my shoulders." And for me, that was so emotional because I knew that he could have kept the property and he could have ran it in the same way that I was about to start running it, and it didn't have to consume him, and he could enjoy it, and he can enjoy that process. But he didn't have that information. And so how I manage those properties at a distance is heavily through automation. And I think it's really important to be able to utilize technology, but with the human element too. So for the properties that I have, I think of them almost like a hybrid between like Airbnb and a hotel. So the first step when I take over the property, I mean, when I buy properties, I'll walk in the door and then they have this book. I don't know if you guys have that book or you've seen that book. It's like this big, and it's got all the reservations, and they're all handwritten. And then they're like all the credit card information, and then they just erase. And then they move people around, if you guys have one of those books or you've seen it. Or on the wall where you check in, and it's like those little pockets, and you have the guest card, and they fill it out, and then they actually go into the pocket like, oh, he's in room 9, in 9, right? And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And so when I walk into the property and I say, okay, I just take pictures of the reservations, and I was like, okay, you don't need to go too far into the book. And they're like, you're not going to use the book anymore? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to see that book ever again. And they're like, they can't conceive of how that's possible. So it's so important when you want to be able to run a business at a distance to be able to leverage technology and leverage automation. So making sure that all of your books, all of your reservations are done online. And this starts to free all of this weight off of your shoulders because, first of all, the guest calls in. When they call in, they're able to book directly with your property. You inform them from the beginning that all of this process is going to be done seamlessly and online. All of our reservations are done online, right? And so instead of this aspect of cash, and then you're worried about who's collecting cash and where is that, and are they taking it, or is it under the table, or what's happening with this money? Everything is by the books. Everything is on paper. There's a paper trail for everything. And when you're able to leverage these reservation systems, everything online, integrated with lock systems where guests can be a randomized, personalized code for those guests for them to be able to access that property without a physical key. There's all of these elements and all these components that can work in synergy to free a lot of this time and weight and work that you guys have had to work through over the years, and make it a more pleasant and a more enjoyable and more fun and more lucrative experience.
So we know technology has made things a lot better, but at the same time made things worse. With OTAs and Booking.com, so that's like the negative part of technology evolving. When you guys booked your reservations for this weekend, how many of you called Rosen Center and see how much their prices were and see what their availability was? I don't think anyone did. I think everyone just went online onto their website or Booking, Expedia, or one of those websites and made the reservation. But like what we were talking about, if someone calls our little hotels, independent hotels, and say, what's your rate, what's your availability, you got to make sure you're able to close on it. You don't want to give the same price that you've already listed online. If your rate's $120 online, you don't want to say $120. At the same time, it's like you could just go online and make the reservation. There you lose 18, 20%. So it's like you want to, first of all, close. Be a closer. Train your team to be a closer. Not just, oh, my price is $85, hang up the phone and done. No, ask them, what's your name, what's your number, I'll give you a call back if you're still shopping around. Things like that, but you got to make sure that you're able to close on the sale. Otherwise, you're losing 18% right there, which is almost an hour's salary for that front desk staff that you guys had over there. The next question I have for you guys, what strategies do you have in place to attract guests and to increase occupancy through the independent hotels?
Like I said earlier, there's a lot of way to do it. It will take days, a whole day to do these discussions. But short way I will say is now it's more towards the, like I told you earlier, you have a unique property. Where you guys at? You got to know your market. Where you at? What kind of people coming in? I'm sure you do. Okay, listen, I got some different people comes in, and what happened? So you got to know your market. Where you at? And see how can we capture those people to come in, what they're looking for, right? Online, like we said earlier, early paneling, we had that online lot of things. Your website is very important, right? Make them book a room on your website. There'll be more than Facebook. Keep on doing what you're doing. Like post something different. Instagram, do it. Free tools, free marketing to get more revenue, occupancy, right? End of the day, we need, bottom line, it's getting smaller and smaller. How can it be bigger? It's the one way. Work. You guys know your secret in your town. Nobody know. You guys do. I don't know what's going on down here in Orlando because I live in Charlotte. I don't know. But people in Orlando know when the people come. When right now is a break, right? Small, all the kids in North Carolina, South Carolina, it's a break. But they know, so rates are higher. College break comes in somewhere, spring break. It's going on right now. Now, I'm telling you, people are traveling. Personal experience. I was traveling on Sunday to come down here from North Carolina. It's 8.5-hour drive. It was a fun ride. And I had a couple of friends. They live in 95. So I'm traveling with them. And I see traffic is, my God. Why? And I stop at the hotel in Savannah, one of my friends. And it's like, dude, I told you it was 3 o'clock. It was 3 o'clock. And thing was packed. The property was, because people on the traveling, you know your areas better than anybody else. So when they travel, something happened, everybody take an exit. You know that, right? As an independent hotelier, we have to be very careful. Brand, they can tell you price change up and down, everything. You got to do same thing online. You change your price, put something high in the morning, put lower when people are coming in, what's the best time to check in for you. You know that. So you can change according to your occupancy, right? I have 50% filled already. Let's work on do 75. When you get 75, raise up because you already got your fair share for the market. And let's put how can we make more with the less energy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And on that, I think that's why it's so critical and important that you use a channel manager. So even with a small independent property, sometimes you think, okay, I can be that person. I can be the one to change rates and I can be the one to do all this stuff. But when you have everything synchronized into the same place where you have booking.com and Expedia and your direct booking link so that guests can book directly and all of those rates are all in the same place, then on the fly you can change your rate at any time, right? So you could wake up in the morning and go, okay, we need to fill this. And then you're just clicking and you're changing your rate across the board. And so in that way, you're not reliant on the guests just calling in and saying, okay, what is your rate? And then you're trying to give them that rate. It's like you can be more competitive and you can fluctuate your rates based on what's happening in that current environment and then also what your competition is doing.
So with independent hotels, when you're trying to change, let's say, a promotion or rate online, it kind of gets done within like 5 seconds. Through a brand, last time I tried to add a promotion for like a 5-day or 7-day, it took like 4 hours for it to update, and if it didn't update, I had to call support and be like, hey, listen, I changed the promotion. Can you guys go on there and come out manually do it? Because we don't have access to the portals for Booking.com, Expedia, and those OTAs if you're branded. Independent hotels, we have access to change rates, promotions, availability, like within seconds. So use some of those tools that we have as independent hoteliers and make changes when you see trends in your market change right away. My next question, I'm going to be asking them, and I also like to see if anybody else has a different approach to this question, and we could take the mic out to the stands. But what are you guys doing at these smaller properties compared to larger hotels near you to make you guys stand out? Like, what's different from your independent hotel than maybe the one across the street from you or down the road?
So, like I said earlier, you have a unique product to your hand. You are different than across the street, right? You have to create that, this guy is not doing, let me do this. Do difference. Right? You stay in a competition, but do different. Plus, you put packages out there, right, to attract. 2 days, get third one free or probably 50% or something. Try out. Try different things, right? Nothing, look, what are we going to lose? Nothing but a gain. Put it out there. See if it works for you. Sometimes a person is very, like I said, it's a different way to do everything. If I have an independent property, I'm in a university area and downtown, close to both of 5 miles each side, right? So how am I going to get a branded property right next block? How can I get my share out of it? I'm going to promote my property as well. Friendly to everybody. The kids comes in too, the parents comes in when they have graduations, all that stuff. Downtown, something going on, they do it. It's unique, so you have to create your own, like I told you guys earlier, you have to create your own strategy plan. How can I do this? And think, nothing wrong with it. We don't have to give an answer to anybody, right? Hire some people if you have it. To expert, try it out for 6 months, right? There's people, like they do revenue management or reputation management too. Try it out. Let's see if somebody can do better than you and stay on top of it so you can focus your business more, how you gain it. Let somebody else, third party, do this and you can do more to gain. Because if you stick, look, I'm telling you, mom and pop properties, so many people are here, they're running the 25, 30 room property for 25, 30 years. They are same place. They are happy. You know, this is what I want to do. But train is change. The industry is changing. Those days are gone. You can't just sit behind a desk. Your value is what, $10 an hour? That's what you're going to put yourself into it? Or $15 an hour? You can go outside and make more. Put your focus into how you can get more money. How can you increase the room revenue? You have to hire somebody to do that, right? It's just simple. Create the packages for your things. Depend. Everybody have a different. Like I said, university, it's right there. Concord, there's a racetrack too, 10 miles. So when a racetrack comes in, people come for a couple of days and all. It's different. Every market is different. But I know what I have to do. And stay on top of it, changing a price. Make sure you do that. Otherwise, you'll be packed. Oh, something happened. We're packed. No. Dude, you left the opportunity to make more. Grab it what you can.
I think the biggest way that I differentiate my properties is through leveraging tech and automation. So having more rural, I would say, motel-style lodges. The thing that makes us different is that we offer, one of the main things that makes us different is we offer self-service check-in. So for a lot of travelers, if they're going to a roadside motel, they're like literally like they're, you know, just finding a spot to pull over to sleep that night. And I don't know if you've ever had this happen before, but I've stopped on the side of the road and nobody answers the front desk, or nobody's there, or they're sleeping, or they're half awake or something. And if you're like me and you travel with 2 small children, you don't feel that excited to get out at 11 o'clock at night and have to drag your kids through the front desk and then through also to the rooms. So I myself leverage tech and automation with self-service check-ins, so the guest can simply call once they place their reservation. It will send them their access code 24 hours prior to them checking in, or if it's a same-day reservation, within about 5 minutes of their making their reservation. So literally, I'll see on the cameras, the outside cameras, somebody pulls up, they see the sign on the door because nobody's there because it's 1 a.m. They're on their phone, they make the reservation, and then they go straight to their door and they check in. And so the guy down the street with the other motor lodge or motel doesn't have that. And so they're staying with me because I'm online. They're able to see clearly exactly what room they're going to get. They know that it's self-service, and they know that they're not going to have to hassle with somebody to check them in. And I think that really differentiates us.
Does anybody else have anything to chime on this question, on how they operate their independent hotel a little bit different? I think we have one over here.
Yes, I have a question. For those who don't know what a channel manager is, Brandy, could you tell us what the channel manager is?
Sure. So a channel manager, think of it like a platform which will just collect it'll tie in all of your different reservation systems all into one. So it's going to take all of your reservations that you have from booking.com, and Expedia and any other Travelocity or Priceline or wherever you have your reservations, all into one synchronized place where you can adjust the rates. And what's really cool about a channel manager is you could have your rates, like your bar rate, so your room rate, like your typical rate that you have, and you could inflate it for Booking.com or Expedia. So you could mark it up for that. So in that way, you're also leveraging the power of those OTAs and how strong they are in the market and how people are finding them and how visible they are. Then if the property is, if they look it up, say on Booking.com, and then they do a search independently, say on Google, and they look up your property and your rate's less than theirs, then they're going to they're going to book directly with you as long as your reviews and everything are congruent across those platforms. But that's a really powerful way to leverage a channel manager to make sure you're driving a lot of revenue and interest to your property.
And we have one back here.
Hi.
Back there.
Hi, my name is Kadambari. And I have a suggestion, not so much as a business owner, but more as a mother. So I have, and you just mentioned something about traveling with 2 small children. And by the way, thank you for that. But for me, as the mother of a daughter with special needs, and my daughter is completely deaf and partially blind, she loves road trips. We travel a lot. We go to a lot of hotels, and we stay, and we randomly pick hotels. And what's been interesting to us is this country, I think the statistics are 19% of children in the United States have special health care needs. 17% of children between the ages of 3 and 17 have special needs in public schools in the United States. 1 in 36 children are autistic, which means they have sensory needs, and no hotels cater to them. I would pay more to stay in a hotel that would, have something a little more. It doesn't have to be expensive, but that can cater to someone like my child. And it's not just me. Like I said, these are the statistics. It's 1 in 5 children. I believe that your brand hotels will find it hard to do because you have to implement stuff. But I think independent hotels can have a unique proposition for this. And it's a large group. 1 in 5 is a really large group. And it's a completely untapped market because no one thinks about it. And I think if you have a sensory room, for instance, it's very simple to implement. 1 in 36 kids are autistic. It would be a unique proposition to market also for a hotel, saying, hey, we have a sensory room. If you have a child that is on the spectrum, come stay with us. We're friendly. Because I find that a lot of times hotels are not really kind if you have any kind of disability. And they tend to be very offhand or dismissive, and we feel like we're not wanted in those places. So, it's just a suggestion, but I think listening to independent hoteliers, I think it might be used. It's just an untapped market.
This is a very good suggestion, guys. We can do something special. And that's make us a unique. If branded not doing, let's do us. Can we do this? And there is so many people. Special kids are look, if you remember, we had that, now we have to put the lift on a pool. Every brand, every requirement, where they come from. They have a strong lobby. If you capture those markets, it's good. Thank you for the suggestion. Very good.
All right. So this next question is for you, Pinkesh. You've been in the industry for, I think, since the early 2000s. What are some processes that you see in independent hotels today that should be gone? Your mic.
Sorry. But my first property I bought in 2001, right? It was a 42-unit independent. It was Howard Johnson. But when I bought that, it was a banker property, 42-unit. And then we changed it to the independent. Bought it, cleaned out everything, good. And old days, I'm sure people are still using a registration card and daily seats. You separate down room number to the rate, if you put a phone deposit or not. Now you don't see phone deposit. It used to be is thousands of dollars. days there. So that daily seats, more cash, and day to day, I was a GM, front desk guy, maintenance. My wife was housekeeping, laundry. We're doing everything 24/7, right? Just keep on going. I did for 8 years. Then I thought, you know what? This is not me. I can't just do that for whole life. I don't have no life. So we change with the technology, right? Put new locks, smart RFID. Change that. Put PMS system on it. Integrate with the reservations online. Just come right in. So I can focus more outside. How can I get more business? What can then I bought 5 more properties. You know why? Because I implement myself. 2, I have to make myself implement first before I do property, because my mentality is this: I'm not spending $5 extra on something. That's how independent properties mentality is. I thought no. People don't like it. They're changing. The competition is getting harder and harder. So we did that. Change locks, camera system to walk outside. Manager, hire a manager, maintenance man to do this. So we can go out and do something else. Like I told you earlier, your time is not, your worth is not $10 an hour. It's more than that. Make them work. Be smart, right? It's not important to work. It's important how you make the other person work for you, right? So, and we change everything. Now we have 7 properties. I don't go day to day. I go once a week for sure, for that property personally, because I still like it. And we change to I don't want to change the name. A lot of people came and like, hey, you want to change your name? Let's put this, and we give you free this. I'll give you $10,000 a key to fix it. Don't go for that, guys. Don't fall for it. They get you for 20, 25 years, right? It's like this. Independent property, it's like my baby. I take care of it. You got to put money every year. Do something different. Customer will like it. One time do exterior corridor, exterior paint, or interior change, whatever it is. And you got to change. Smart TVs, floors, everything been changed. And I think I did very well. I spent money to make more money, right? I know my attention on the property when I was living there, I was doing better. Right? I know I'm going to lose 100,000 on there, but you know what? I'm going to gain million other side to get out of this, to do something else outside, but focus more on business study, get more business. I know there's so many people in this world that still having a key for the doors. And they don't want to get out of it. That's fine. But you are not getting fair share, don't complain. You got to change, implement yourself, right? Thank you.
So as we make these changes in our hotels and we don't have brands telling us what to do, we do our own things our own way with operations. At the same time, we have to make sure we keep our guest satisfaction up to par. Our reviews are really important. So this next question is going to be for Brandy. Can you please explain us the importance of reviews and how it impacts our hotels and possibly our insurance premiums?
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that has come about relatively new in the insurance industry, and I don't know if any of you have faced this yet, but the insurance providers are actually looking at TripAdvisor and Google reviews when they are determining if they are going to insure a particular property. And so this can be critical in the case of a hotelier that's thinking about who's trying to sell their property or one who's trying to purchase a property, obviously, because if it's not insurable, that's a huge problem. So something that's really important with that is to make sure that your reviews and your review management is under control. So something that we tell our clients to do, or something that we work with our clients to do, is to help them to remove the reviews that are prior to renovations or rebranding. So if you've done major work to your property, or you bought a new property, you can actually have the reviews removed prior to that date. And this is something that all of you are able to do on your own. It doesn't require anything special. You would go on to TripAdvisor or Google, and you'd simply provide them with your contractor's invoice for the work that was done. or your document from the Secretary of State, your deed, your DBA, showing that ownership changed, and you can remove those reviews prior to that date and then start fresh and start over. Another method to do that is to just challenge and flag the reviews which are false, slanderous, or posted to the wrong property through a similar process to that. But in that way, you're able to increase your rating and your ranking to be more favorable in the eyes of an insurance company, an insurance agency.
All right, so as we wrap up operations, could you give a round of applause to Pinkesh and Brandy, please? Next, I'd like to bring up Mitesh. Him and I are going to be moderating the next segment on people, culture, and risks.